We have a breaking story. Donald Trump has fallen to second place behind Ben Carson. We informed Ben, but he was sleeping.
Welcome back to the Daily Wrap. Another weekend, another round of attacks and counterattacks by GOP frontrunner Donald Trump. While Mr. Trump appeared to be in fine form, he does appear to be feeling just a bit out of sorts over his polling decline in Iowa.
Nationally, you're doing great. You have some high negative numbers, but Iowa's a problem all of a sudden. You've fallen behind Ben Carson. Why?
I don't believe I did fall behind. It was one poll and a second poll. It was small polls. And I was in Iowa 3 days ago. We had a town hall that was unbelievable. It was packed. Thousands of people standing outside.
One poll's the Des Moines Register. Another's Quinnipiac, which you've said is a good poll.
Well, the Des Moines Register is a terrible paper as far as I'm concerned. No, it really is.
What about Quinnipiac?
Very liberal paper, by the way. I believe, and I've been winning in Iowa. And by the way, I have other polls in Iowa that say I am winning, just so you understand. This was 2 small polls.
New to those feeling the sharp edge of the Trump treatment is Dr. Ben Carson, the current Iowa frontrunner, according to 2 recent polls the Hawkeye state has conducted. Take a look at what Mr. Trump had to say when discussing Carson's religion this weekend at a rally there over the weekend.
I'm Presbyterian. Boy, that's down the middle of the road, folks, in all fairness. I mean, Seventh-day Adventist, I don't know about. I just don't know about.
Mr. Carson's Seventh-day Adventist. What did you mean by that?
Well, exactly what I said. I don't know about that. I don't know about what that is. I'm not that familiar with it. I've heard about it, but I'm not that familiar with it. That wasn't meant to be an insult, obviously. It's just that I don't know about it.
Yeah, it wasn't meant to be an insult.
It wasn't an insult.
Now, to many conservatives, the Seventh-day Adventist religion is not considered a Christian religion. So was Trump sending out a dog whistle, because he's always subtle, to evangelical Iowans? Or was he just saying he knows little about Dr. Carson's religious beliefs, Mr. Unger?
I think this is an easy call. It wasn't an insult, but what he was doing was telling all the Iowa voters, hey, you're evangelicals, you are heavy Christians. The Seventh-day Adventist thing, kind of like the Mormons were when Romney was running. They're not really Christians. I'm just saying Ben Carson's not a Christian. That's what it was.
Ben, you mentioned during the break that Republicans are very good at destroying themselves.
Yeah.
Right. I'm sorry if I'm sharing something that should have been off the record.
Sure.
But what the hell are we talking about here? Why aren't we talking about the economy and 94 million people out of work? Why aren't we talking about the Obama record, about Hillary Clinton, about all these things? All they do is just attack each other.
Yeah.
And we love it.
Good question,
well, thank
man.
you.
That's the
it's
right
great
question.
theater, but I mean, I don't think the Republicans really realize what they're doing here. Not the Republicans, it's Trump basically. And Carson doesn't take the bait, but I mean, when's it going to stop?
It's also steeping to a pretty low level that you don't think more highly of the Iowa voters than to float out that dog whistle trial balloon of, oh, well, he might not be a real Christian. Injecting that into the race, I think, is below Trump and below the rest of the field.
Does this mean Trump, Mr. Tucker, doesn't have a very good argument against Carson, so he's just going after him in the way that he went after the president over his birth certificate?
Yeah, but you know what? I don't think, I don't know why he doesn't want to just talk about the issues like you say. I agree with Ben. The Republicans, for whatever reason, and it's not just this a cycle, are very good at taking on each other and tearing them down. Why they haven't gotten to the issues, I don't know. And let's get some perspective, Mr. Trump. Rick Santorum won Iowa the last time around. The Republicans.
Huckabee in 08?
And Huckabee did as well. I don't see either one of those guys in the president's chair.
That's the thing, Rick, that Donald Trump has a decided advantage if we talk about economy, we talk about creating jobs, because he's actually done it. Yet he goes down this route.
Well, I frankly don't think that gives him a decided advantage.
Over Carson it does. He's a doctor.
Well, but again, it doesn't mean that Carson can't do it, but you're right. He ought to be talking about that.
Yeah, I guess
not
he
about. But he knows how the voters go there.
Mm-hmm. I just think it's a political mistake. Ben Carson's a very likable guy. He is truly the American dream if you want to look at the candidates. So why attack him?
Likable and a front runner, at least according to 2 small polls in Iowa. Trump wasn't the only one racking up free media this weekend and making news. Listen to what Dr. Carson had to say while appearing on NBC's Meet the Press with Chuck Todd.
Think about this. During slavery, and I know that's one of those words you're not supposed to say, but I'm saying it. During slavery, a lot of the slave owners thought that they had the right to do whatever they wanted to that slave. Anything that they chose to do. And, what if the abolitionist had said, you know, I don't believe in slavery. I think it's wrong. But you guys do whatever you want to do. Where would we be?
Okay, Bill, reasonable comparison to make?
I think it's a bit of a stretch,
Yeah.
really, even though in some ways I agree with him, but I think it's a stretch.
Don't evoke Hitler, don't evoke slavery, just don't evoke it at all, because all it does is people hear that and they don't even listen to what you're saying, Ben.
I agree, although it might be calculated because he realizes that there is an advantage to pushing buttons you're not supposed to push.
Good point.
Well, I agree with Ben, but it's outrageous. It's absolutely outrageous what he keeps doing, and it's a shame because he's a nice man.
Okay, so do you think the GOP campaign rhetoric has gotten a little too heated, or is this just the way you like it? Let us know. Share your thoughts. Go to newsmaxtv.com/comments. Voice your opinion. Coming up, is Jeb Bush too sensitive to play in national politics? We'll let you know when we return.